Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Well, hey, everybody. It is Friday. Oh, thank God it's Friday. I don't know about y'all, but I am so glad to make it to another Friday. Which y'all, we were just together last week, but it came around so quick. And I don't know about y'all. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It seems like the time is going by so fast. Like each and every day is speeding up. Each and every month is speeding up. I think the momentum from last year is just continuing to go quick. And let me back up really quick, y'all, because where are we right now? We are at I'm Joshua Lenox, and this is the Inspiration Station. And what do we do over here, y'all? We upsize in 2025. We have to. We have to. We upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Everything is big. Everything we do is big. Even that little small thing that you think you're doing or that small step you think you're taking is big. Every little step is a big step, is what I always say. But back to this timing thing, y'all, as I'm kind of waiting on all of y'all to kind of come in. A lot of you all will see this after this is actually broadcast. And again, y'all, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Instagram, we're also on LinkedIn, also YouTube. Another thing is after this is all done, you can get this on Spotify, Audible, or also Amazon. Apple, we're coming. It's just, Apple is just a little bit more intricate and very intricate and interesting is what I'm going to say. keep it in a very nice way, but we're on our way to that as well. So I hope that everybody's been having a great day. Let me know when you're coming in, and I can see your comments, so come on in the room. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10 of y'all times 100. But definitely just looking forward to what we're going to unpack tonight. These are not long, y'all. We just want to give you a little quick nugget, carry you on into the week. I'm sorry, y'all, into the weekend. I'm not trying to go backwards. So we're going into the weekend. I hope that some of y'all are going to have some great plans for the weekend. Some people are probably going to continue to be working, like myself. But I just hope that, y'all, we're only a few more days left in March. I hope that everybody has been maximizing everything, all your time, all your talents, all your skills, all that, putting everything to the max in this month, y'all. We're going into April very, very soon. It's just in 3 days. So I'm looking forward to Easter. I don't know about some of y'all. I'm looking forward to the eating part. Of course, I want to celebrate the risen Savior, Jesus Christ, but I cannot wait to partake in some wonderful food. I think I'll probably be throwing down. I like to cook, y'all. If you don't know that about me, I love to cook. It's a safe place and a haven. People love to eat it as well, so I'm glad about that. As y'all are coming in, let me know how your day has been already, how your week was, what you're looking forward to, anything you're looking forward to tonight, and what we're going to be talking about, anything you're looking forward to for the weekend, just any old thing. And while y'all doing that, again, I'm so excited to see the Inspiration Station just continuing to grow as it is already. This is episode 3 tonight, so clap it up for that. Episode number 3, y'all. I'm seeing the numbers increase very much so on Facebook. And I think when you're first starting something that you're kind of trying to figure things out, get all the kinks out, this is something very new for me, but very exciting for me. I also hope that you all are doing new things in your lives right now that are causing you to come out of your comfort zone in certain ways, allowing you to see other components of yourself, other pieces of yourself. So I'm going to give us a couple of more minutes, or maybe even just a minute, and I'm going to dive right in. But actually, you know what? I'm going to dive in right now. Y'all, it's such a beautiful day outside. I do see that it is definitely sunshine here where I am. I hope it's sunshining wherever any of you are. I'm glad that the temperatures are starting to go up, and but it's still this whole sprinter type of thing, though. It's like spring weather, but winter attitude, and I'm over it. Can we just get one thing? Can we have spring already and leave winter behind? Even though I actually like the cold, but I'm over it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Again, I hope that everybody has had a great week, is having a great day, and also because we still got some time left in today. But let's jump right in. Again, welcome to everyone, wherever you are watching, wherever you are all around the world, or wherever you are in your living room, whether you're in your car, whether in your shower. You hope your phone is waterproof. Whatever, wheresoever you may be. I'm glad that you're joining me and joining us on tonight, and also will continue to join us every Friday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Just looking forward to continue to do this, y'all. It's going to be some really, really interesting things that are going to be coming up soon. A lot of fun stuff, a lot of people you're going to be able to see and learn from their lives. And jumping in, even in saying that, what is the Inspiration Station, y'all? As I've said, and I'll probably say a few more episodes as we kind of get more familiar with this platform and familiar with this show. But the Inspiration Station is literally a nickname that I was given about 2012 from someone, and I just had it stuck with me. They told me they thought I was like a radio station where I sent out frequencies and like I knew what people needed to hear, like a radio station. So I just took it, ran with it, didn't use it until now. And again, it's not just about being here to inspire you all with my life or with experiences or teaching you things, providing knowledge for you, also us experiencing healing, revelation, whatever it is, so many things that have become motivation, encouragement. Um, it's about you. You are the Inspiration Station as well, because each and every one of you that are listening are an inspiration. You're an inspiration to others more than you think. And also, you are an inspiration to yourself, even if you forget about it sometimes. So that's what the Inspiration Station is. This is somewhere where you're going to come to get your cup filled, not just in hearing stories, but also applying some real life things to your own life and walking it out. Because we don't want to just sit here and be encouraged and motivated and inspired, but we don't go and do anything with it. So this is to get you to also move your feet. As I said in the first episode, we're all that song that people are waiting to hear, so that when they hear us, they get up and it encourages them to want to make movement in their lives, so that you are the same thing. So what to expect in here, I just told you, and I'm not going to repeat myself, but I will say also, this is a place where you'll learn how to be a little bit more open, honest, and vulnerable, not only with other people, but also with yourself. Sometimes you think it's the hardest thing is to be open, honest, and vulnerable with others, but it's really more challenging to be open and honest and vulnerable with yourself. So that's something that we're going to be doing in here. And you're going to not just learn from my life, and also learn from your life, and still learn some new things about yourself that you've never even known about yourself. But you're also going to get to meet other people on here and get to learn about their lives as well. So we all need each other's stories. That's how we continue to feel motivated to move forward and walk in our purposes, our callings, our giftings, and all of those things, and be able to go touch other people's lives and touch the world. So I want to just jump in right now. The topic of today is really going to be quick, but what I want to say is this is a time to embrace the new. This is a time to embrace the new. Everybody say that with me. If you wherever you're hearing me from right now, just repeat. This is the time to embrace the new. And I don't mean the new that you think. I mean new, KNEW, that you knew, you already knew. So let that sit with you for just a second, but just give me a few minutes to kind of rinse this out, or as some people say in the country, ranch it out for you really quick. But also really quick before, and if I say quick one more time, y'all let me know in the comments to not say quick anymore, okay? Even though I just said that again, I said the word quick, and I just said it again. But anyway, I want to say, please share this out to as many people as you can. Spread the word. Get people out there. Let them know to come on in here to the Inspiration Station. We need them. We want them here for them to get inspired, and also to share their lives with us. As much as I'm on this end of things, you all are just as y'all are more important than what I'm doing on this end, because we're all inspiring one another. So share this out to as many people on your platforms, social media, through text message. I don't care. Go make a billboard if you want to. You can do that. I'll give you full permission to put my face out there on a billboard and just promote it as much as possible. So that's fine with me. But again, embrace the new. let's jump into it, y'all. First thing I want to say is that think about when you were a child. I want everybody going back into their mind as a child. Just close your eyes and think of yourself as a child and how you had such an imagination. Maybe you were that person who wanted to be a nurse and you always wanted to have baby dolls, or you wanted to have you wanted to doctor up on your family members or your friends. You always wanted to take care of people, nurse them, anything like that, or anything. Whether you wanted to be a firefighter, you want to be a police officer, you want to be an entertainer, you wanted to be a doctor, you wanted to be an engineer, you were somebody who always wanted to build stuff. You probably had Legos for days. You wanted to be in the military, whatever that was. And y'all, I can go down the list. You want to be a cook. You wanted to be or we say a chef. That's the same, pretty much the same thing. But it's several different avenues of things. We're just gonna, just for a second, I want to use that for an example because, as a kid, you start to see something and you start to be drawn to it, and it's something that you want. And you don't really even understand it at that time, but you could actually have been predicting your future at that time as a kid. And I will even say, just to kind of fast forward, anything that you're probably having a capacity in at this time, a title, a position, or again, and that could be anything, there's probably a great chance you knew that you would be doing that or being that. And we don't have to go so grand scale as just a career field, but it could be also just being a parent. Being a parent, being a great friend, being someone who is a caregiver, or whatever that is. It could be several different things. I don't want to just go into an exhaustive list because that can go forever. But something probably told you that you just knew that you would end up in that position. And let me prove it to you. Quick story time, y'all. And you know what? Don't get used to me giving y'all all of my business and telling y'all stuff and being open with y'all. Just don't get too comfortable, because there are going to be some other people's lives that are going to be on here. And eventually I'm going to want to hear from some of you. But this is just to be relatable to you. And again, I don't want you all to get comfortable with this, knowing about me so much. So take for granted. Don't take it for granted for now. This is being the third episode. I'm gonna start being a little quiet about these stories. But I think about when I was a kid. I was about 4 and 5. And I remember being in my great grandfather's backyard a lot in Pensacola, Florida, when I would go to visit, or either at one point, I think at about 5, I was living down there for a little time, and I would be in his backyard. That's when it started. I would go in his backyard from that age till about up to 9 or 10, and I would put a shovel in the ground, and I really just shouldn't have been doing it. It was nice grass back there, but hey, nobody was doing anything to me. I was the first great grandchild, and I was the only grandchild of my grandmother, so I wasn't gonna get into any trouble. But I had an imagination of wanting to perform. I wanted to sing, dance, and act. Those are things that I knew I was gonna do. That was inevitable. Nobody had to tell me that. Nobody had to. Nobody had to. I think everybody knew it in my family. People knew if you put music on, I would jump up and dance in a heartbeat, or I would sing and until it was time to go to bed, or I would act out skits. I would act out movies all the time. I still to this day can memorize. I have so many movies memorized, and I go into every character, your dialect, the accent, whatever it was. Those were things that were just like, yeah, we know that there's got to be some things he's going to do with that. But I would go in the backyard and I will put on full-fledged concerts. Nobody's in the backyard, y'all. Nobody, except probably the birds and the dogs are probably watching me from across the fence or something in somebody's yard. But I had it was a gravitation I had. It was like a gravitation I had to it, and it was a pull. And I just knew I love this. I got to do this at some point when I get older. And I did, and I still do, and will continue to do. Y'all stay tuned for some of that stuff. But I saw audiences of people. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't in the backyard with thousands of people. You couldn't tell me that. And it was something that it was just natural. It was not something I had to contrive or I had to really create. Even though I had an imagination, it was something that it was just within me. And again, as I got older and I started to see myself doing some of those things, performing in front of large crowds and even stadiums at times, with certain things I was doing, I saw that, and it's something I believe. So some part of me, I already knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to come. Now, if you would have told me that I was going to be a counselor or a coach or an author or even doing a podcast, hello somebody, that I was doing that, I would have looked at somebody like they were crazy. However, when I actually look back at certain things that I was exposed to growing up, I actually knew that these things would happen when I really think about it. It wasn't a secret. So just for a moment, while you're talking, while you're listening to me, because you're not talking, I can't hear y'all. Y'all are too quiet. But I want you to think about some of those things early in your life that you were exposed to that actually came to pass, that actually happened. Uh, and I want you to think about the favorable things and also the unfavorable things that came. One quick thing I want you to think about, sometimes when we say, well, the stuff that I knew, so are we just talking about the negative stuff? Like I knew that relationship wasn't going to work. I knew that marriage wasn't going to work. I knew that job was going to be dead end. Uh, Maybe it's not just knowing certain things. It's not the negative stuff. It's also the positive. As I just gave you an example of, I knew I was going to be in the performing arts and stuff. I knew I was going to do things like that. That was just a no brainer. But there were certain components about my life later in life I just didn't see. But then when I look back and reflect, I'm like, that was there all the time. So just to give you some quick examples, as I just kind of mentioned, some of the things about talking about the embracing that we knew, what we know, or embracing the new, y'all. Help me out now. Embrace the new, meaning that there are many things in your life that were already predestined to happen, and you've just been this person who's been just navigating and finding your way. But there are thoughts you've had, there's dreams you've had, there's visions you've had, that you knew that this was going to happen for you. You knew that you wanted it so bad. And when it happened, it's like you hear that famous phrase always like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew I would get here. I knew I would have this career. I knew I would have a family. I knew I would have children and be married, and or I knew I would travel the world. I knew I would have my own business. I knew that I was not like my family. I knew that I stood out. I knew it was something different about me. I knew that I was going to be a person who broke certain curses in my family or in my bloodline. I knew that I was meant for greatness. I knew that I was going to be a person who people would that it was something, my life was greater than, it would be greater than where it was. That I knew I wasn't going to be broke, busted, and disgusted. I knew I was going to be a person who had wealth. And I can keep going, y'all, but I just want you to kind of think about that. There are a lot of things that you have seen come to pass in your life that you knew would happen. And you might want to sit with some of this stuff now and look back, because you're like, well, no, I didn't know this was going to happen. I really didn't. No way, Josh. I couldn't have known that my life would look like it is. Actually, you did. And sometimes in maybe an unfavorable way, which I want you to kind of stay with me on this, but in an unfavorable way, or maybe you might be in a situation that's not the best right now. You might have known that you were going to end up in that based off of your actions, based off of certain things that you would partake in, certain negative beliefs, like we talked about last week, certain negative core beliefs that you may have adapted and thought were true. Maybe you thought, you always felt like you were not good enough, so you probably knew you would end up being with somebody who would make you feel that way. Or you probably, when you got into a relationship, you knew that they were going to see you in that you were, as if you weren't not good enough, because you already knew that about yourself, or so you thought. So when we talk about embracing the new, you probably knew you were always going to move away from that hometown that you lived in. You knew that you're like, something was just better than that. Something was beyond what you could see. You couldn't even explain it to people sometimes, but you just knew that there was something greater or better or bigger out there for you. Um, so you actually have known many things in your life that have come to pass and have yet to come to pass. And when I mean embracing the new, embrace also the favorable side of what you knew and the unfavorable side. Embrace the things that come into your life that you always desire. Let me say this really quick, because sometimes we do have such great desire for certain things, and then when we get it, we think it's too good to be true. So then we sabotage it, because then you think, okay, wait. And it's like, well, what is wrong with you? You always wanted this. This is what you asked for. This is what you probably prayed for. This is probably what you have always envisioned, that you dream for your life. And then when you get it, it's like, I don't know if I want this. And it could be because You always wanted it. You just didn't know that you could actually embrace that. You thought it was too good to be true, but you didn't embrace it to be true for you. So going back to this embrace the new, I knew something like this could happen for me, but I just didn't know that it actually was going to happen. I didn't know it was actually going to happen or think it could happen, but I knew it would come. Just didn't think it was really going to happen for me. So, one more thing I want to say too is if your new does not align with your now, where does the work start? And what I mean by if you're new, there are things that you have known are going to happen for your life, but it might not align right now because maybe you've gotten off track. Maybe you've lost sight. Maybe if you've lost sight of who you were, you lost sight of your confidence, you lost sight of your value, your worth. You stopped dreaming. You stopped dreaming like a child. Go back, like I was talking about, being in the backyard with a shovel. Come on, y'all. And people were driving past. I know they thought I was crazy, but it was my imagination. I knew that that could happen. It was something I couldn't turn away from. And again, think about those things that have always called out to you. Those things that get that fire burning on the inside of you. Those things that make you can't even go to sleep at night because you're still thinking about it, and you haven't done it yet. But you know that that's supposed to be something you're doing because you already knew it. You foreknew this many years ago, and you haven't done the work. So that's when I say, if you're new, what I already have known is going to line up in my life. If it does not align with where my life is at the moment right now, what do I need to do? Do I need to put together a strategy? Do I need to take myself back to the child in me? Do I need to organize things? Do I need to connect with some people? Do I need to call some numbers? Do I need to look? I was about to say look in the phone book, but now you just Google it. Do I need to Google somebody? Do I need to get a mentor? Do I need to? Y'all, I could go down the list. Do I need to go back to school? Do I need to get a degree? Do I need to make a vision board? Do I need to make y'all remember like brainstorming back when you were a kid, like in school, they make you brainstorm, you put like the stuff in the center and then you start making like stems or branches off of that. What do I need to do to get started? I'm not talking about jumping ahead and going ahead and, okay, I'm gonna just go full Monty and do whatever it is, but maybe I just need to write some things down. Maybe I need to think some things out. I always hear people talk about vision boards. Y'all, I have too. Because I need to always have this stuff in my face so that I'm reminded of what I've already seen that I've yet to attain. And hear me when I say yet. It hasn't happened yet, but I know it will because I knew it would come. So if you're new, what you are in right now, the things you've known, all probably for a long time in your life. If it's, I want to say, I want to highlight this really quick. I'm sorry, excuse me for jumping, but I couldn't help it. But you said Christine, I think I said, if you don't mind me saying your name, well, your name is up here, but I want to highlight that comment. I always wanted to do medical coding, billing. Life kept happening for many years. I can say that in graduating top of my class in 2018 from CTU, congratulations on that. And it was one of the happiest moments of my life. So again, life kept happening. But something tells me that Christine is somebody who's a fighter. She's courageous. She's somebody who has great determination. She has great endurance because you can't go graduate from anything, top of anything, and not have those types of things to possess. But if life happened, I knew, but see, there are things still I know of that was supposed to that I'm supposed to be doing or that I want to do. I always wanted to. What's stopping me? What was stopping me? What was in the way? Because I knew that that's something that I wanted to do and I'm supposed to be doing. Life kept happening, but maybe I didn't happen to life. I didn't take my fight to push past that, if that makes sense, Christine. Thank you for sharing that too. I really appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that because again, this is where we talk about being open, honest, and vulnerable. Life kept happening, but maybe not, life didn't keep happening. Maybe I just forgot about who I was. Maybe I forgot about that fight and determination in me to go after what I want because you just proved that you can go after what you want. You did it in 2018. Hello, somebody. Graduating top of your class. Anything you put your mind to, you can do it, and you proved it to yourself. Was it that life kept happening? Or was it that I got scared or I got nervous or I was unsure or this was something that was going to be brand new? But something I always wanted to do. And maybe that's one of those things that maybe it could be, as we talk about being too good to be true. This is something I really want, but do I deserve it? Is it possible for me? And as I said last week, sometimes we get in a place where it's like, what did I talk about last week, y'all? I'm just playing, y'all. I remember. But you can get into a place of where you really desire something, and you just don't think that because of a negative core belief that you have, I'm not good enough, I'm inadequate, I'm not skilled enough. Do I have what it takes? And you end up telling yourself something that's not true, which then causes you to put off something that you really desired. Hold on, y'all, really quick. And also, though, Christine, what if that was a moment? What if you were actually being, now they're reading that, what if that was that moment for you to be rerouted? Because just because that's what I wanted to do, I had medical challenges that happened after graduation. So they put me on a little bit of a pause. But I have two-time author and have my own podcast. Yeah, and it is, to God be the glory, and congratulations on that as well. Maybe I was just pivoted. There are many things still that in our lives that we desire, we always want to do, and we have that drive. I'll say this too. Even when we talk about medical coding and billing and things of that nature, what if it's still a skill set that you're still using in a different capacity? What if some of the things that you would have been using, skill sets and things like that, in medical coding and billing is actually being used in other capacities? I could go somewhere, but I'm not. I'm not y'all. I could be this way. But I'll say this too. What if somebody always wanted to be a nurse? They always want to be a nurse or they always want to be a doctor. Well, what if they ended up being a veterinarian? That's like, well, that's not the same as a doctor nurse. It's still in the medical field. What if somebody always wanted to be um, a school teacher? They want to be a school teacher, maybe at the university level, but then they end up becoming a counselor, a medical mental health counselor. It's different, but that person is still being able to educate. So I'm glad that, thank you for that example, because just because we're in certain things that we're in pursuit of that we want, it doesn't mean the talents and the skill, you could take the comment down, the skills and the talents and that we have, that we won't use that in other capacities. So thank you for sharing that. I hope that this stuff is making sense to y'all, because there are a lot of things still, even in what Christine shared, that she knew. Absolutely, having a different purpose. So again, but I can still have it's still the same. I can still have the same talent, skill sets, and of the like, but I might be using them in another capacity. So moral of the story is, ladies and gentlemen, on tonight, you always knew certain things would come to pass in your life, or that you always knew that certain things would happen. And I want to jump to this really quick too, because when we talk about the unfavorable things, think about I'll go here, but like any type of relationship, in a relationship of any kind, you knew that relationship probably was not going to work out. Probably when you got into it from the beginning. Anita Baker said, from beginning to end, 365 days in a year. You knew that wasn't going to work. So if you went to a job and you saw how certain things were starting to go, maybe you were there for a couple of years and you knew that your time was up. You had that gut feeling, you had the intuition, or if you want to say you had discernment of knowing that things were over. So again, and I'm just using that as a quick example because that's something that's more relatable with most topics, but you just know certain things. And I think when we have second guessing and doubting, that's what causes a person to draw back. It's like, man, I knew I was supposed to do, I knew I was meant for greatness. Okay, well then why aren't you walking in that greatness? Why aren't you walking in the fullness of that? I knew I was supposed to be an entrepreneur, but you don't have a business. So it's things that you know to do and you just haven't in most cases. So What my point in that is just sometimes, again, with second guessing yourself and then starting to doubt can cause you to go away from what you know you're supposed to do. You've been knowing this. So to wrap us up on tonight, y'all, one more time, I thank y'all for your participation. I really appreciate your comments, Christine, and bringing some things to the light and also switching some things for me. I'm glad you mentioned that because, again, we can still have certain skill sets and capabilities, but that we're after in pursuit of one thing, but it can be used in another capacity. So let's get our child minds back on, our children minds, if they even make sense. But the mind of a child, being childlike, and getting that imagination back up and saying, what are some things that I've known I was created to do? I've known that I was put here to do. What's been predestined for my life that maybe I haven't walked in yet? And also think about the things that you are walking in that you knew would come to pass, even if you didn't recognize it immediately. Like I was telling you, I had to reflect back when becoming a counselor and going to school for counseling. Like, I'm not supposed to be no counselor. But it made sense after I went through both master's degrees and started doing an internship and all this stuff. I was like, you know what? People have always wanted to talk to me about their business. They've always wanted to tell me their issues. They could trust me. They know that I was a safe place. They knew I was a safe haven in a sense for them. And this made sense to me. But it took for me to get into their position to say, oh, I knew this. Okay, I kind of knew this would kind of come. Did I know it would look like this? Maybe not, but I knew I would be doing something like this because it's actually, I've been exposed to this beforehand. So I hope that all of this made sense to y'all. I hope that also you all are leaving impacted in a way of knowing that you know more than you know, and you always have, probably since you were a kid. But this is also a charge to say, what am I putting off or what am I not doing that I know I should be doing, and I've known to do it and I just haven't. And what's holding me back? And again, this ties to the episode of last week. What kind of negative core belief, what kind of negative thoughts am I thinking about myself, or irrational beliefs and thoughts that are holding me back? So we're not holding back. As we said, 2025, we upsize in 2025. So it's time to upsize those dreams and visions and those talents and those gifts and skills. You're too gifted and talented to be sitting on what you know you should be doing. So I hope that all of you have an amazing rest of this Friday. Y'all, please get out. The sun is still out for a little while. I'm going walking. Do you hear me? I'm going walking. I cannot let the sun go down without going out and getting some type of fresh air and being in nature. So I hope that you all have a wonderful Friday. Again, if you're new, KNEW does not align with your now. What's missing and what steps am I to take? So, see y'all next Friday. Make sure you share this out to everybody and their mama, their cousin, their job, their church community, their state, their city, their country, whatever. Spread it out. But again, we're gonna embrace the new. We're gonna embrace what we already know. You know more than you think. So have a wonderful evening, y'all. This is the Inspiration Station where we upsize in 2025 all day, every day. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you this time next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching the Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.